Alright, today we're going to be changing the fluid in the transmission on this Craftsman tractor. I know it says Toro on the hood, but it is a Craftsman. And I'm doing that because the transmission is kind of whining and it doesn't want to go in reverse very well. Forward's okay, but I still don't think it's the greatest, and reverse is hardly there at all. And it's making a pretty good whining noise. So unfortunately, this unit that I have here it doesn't have a drain plug. It has a fill plug, but not a drain plug. So what I'm going to have to do, if I can find my light, oh, there it is. So as I was saying, it has a fill plug but no drain plug. So what I'm going to have to do is go ahead and drill and tap a hole in the bottom of this to put a drain plug in. Now normally what you would do is just take the entire rear end out, tip it over, and drain it through this plug on top here, and then put it back in and fill it back up. But I don't want to go through all that trouble, and this lawnmower isn't something I use daily. I just want it to work. So I'm not really worried about destroying it, but if this is your daily mower, probably best to take it off, flip it over. And if you want to put the drain plug in, probably take it apart and make sure there's nothing underneath it. So I'm going to go ahead and jack this thing up and we'll get a better look at it. Alright, I've got it jacked way up in the air to make this a little bit easier. And of course I've got my back plate off so I can get in here and look at it. And I looked at my parts diagram and it looks like right about where this sticker is, I should be able to pop a hole in there and put a drain plug in. There seems to be a filter here and then a little recess on the bottom, so hopefully I'll have enough room to drill a hole and not destroy anything. This is a Hydrogear 3360510. You should look up the parts diagram on yours to try to find the best place to drill if you're going to do this. So let's go ahead and grab a drill bit and see if we can't put a hole in it. Alright, I've got the proper size drill bit, hopefully, for the tap and plug that I have already got for this. So here goes nothing. Let's see if we can put a hole in it. Now I'm going really slow with this because I don't want to pop through. Hopefully I won't hit anything on the other side. So we'll just take her easy and then go nice and slow. Alright, looks like we've got a nice hole in it. Let's let her down, get her all drained out, and hopefully we didn't hit anything going in. Alright, I went ahead and I took the fill plug out, and now it's draining really good. And as you can see, it's a green color, which I believe is the color from the factory, but it's also kind of nasty in there as well, so probably a good thing we're draining it. So I'm just going to let this drain for a while, and then once it's all drained out, I'll jack it back up and we'll take a look at it and see if we can't tap that out and put a plug in it. Alright, I've gone ahead and I've jacked it back up here and cleaned out the hole a little bit, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get you to see this, but there is a filter just above the hole. Looks like we've got a good bit of room. I did bump into it with the drill, but I didn't damage anything. When the drill actually caught, when it was drilling through, it kind of pulled it in a little ways, but didn't damage anything, thankfully. So now we can go ahead and tap that and get our plug in there. Now this is just a brass 1/4 inch NPT plug, and that's what I have for a tap. So hopefully we can get this thing to go in. Well, I think that'll work. Now ideally you'd want something that's relatively flat, sort of like the upper bolt, so you wouldn't catch it on anything when you're driving, but this is going to be a snowplow tractor, so I'm not too concerned. So now I'm going to go ahead and let it out down and put a little bit of oil in the top just to flush out any shavings that might be in there. Alright, I've gone ahead and I've put my funnel in the fill hole, and I left the bottom port open already and dumped some oil in there to help flush out any of the aluminum shavings that might be in there. And now that that's done, I've got the drain plug in, and I've got some 2050 motor oil, which is what this thing calls for. This was just the cheapest stuff at the store I was at, so I grabbed up 3 quarts. It's supposed to take, I believe, 80 ounces. It was the spec on it, so I'm going to start dumping that in and see how much we can get in there. We're going to have to purge the system, obviously, but let's start pouring first. Alright, I've gone ahead and I've filled the transmission as far as it'll go. Now we're going to fire up the tractor and run the wheels back and forth with the back end lifted up so the wheels aren't touching, and we're going to try to get rid of all the air in the system by doing that. Well, it would seem the whining has completely gone away. I do, however, have some fuel system issues I'll have to work out, but it looks like it's working. I'm going to go ahead and take her outside and see if it moves any better. Well, there we go. I took her out for a spin and it works pretty good. There's still a slight whine to it when it's under load, like going up a hill, but that may go away once I run it for a while and work on all the air, and then check it again and refill it, top it off if it needs it. But it works pretty good. Cost me about a little less than 30 bucks. The tap and drill that came together as a set were about 10 bucks. The oil was roughly about 15, and the plug was a little over $1 maybe. So it wasn't too bad. You can do this to your own tractor if you want. The way I did it was way easier for me because I don't really care about this tractor. It was for free, so if I screwed something up, not a big deal. If you're worried about screwing something up, you can go ahead and take the rear end out and change the fluid that way. Just tip it over, drain it out, and refill it, put it back in. Or if you want a drain plug, but you're worried about damaging something on the inside, you can take it out, take it apart, drill your hole, tap it, clean everything up real good, and then put it back in there, and then you'll have a serviceable transmission. So I think it worked out pretty well.